vibes. I love it. I think that I completely understand why she got cast. No one else really does. People are going to agree with you, but I mean, look, they want a certain lifestyle. She just bought an apartment. I won't say where unless she has said where on her Instagram, because you tell me I'm not supposed to reveal the general area people live in. See, I've learned something.
You're not. Good.
She is successful. I mean, they were looking for their first Black New York housewife. That was the casting directive. She's extremely attractive. I find her extremely pretty, which they want. That's what they want in a housewife. She has the clothes and the bags, and she's smart. And she can argue, girl. So I get it. Ebony said this when she was on my show, which I agree with. I think she said it's already starting to be taught in schools. Nobody wants to hear this. We won't get political. She said season 13 of RHONY is already, political. No, she said season 13 of RHONY is already being taught in some, I don't know what the course is, but
yeah, in what capacity?
Well, I think there's courses on like gender and race. And I think that I agree with her. I think season 13 is a psychological study of an all-white cast who brought in someone who, again, Ebony's thing in life, like she just wrote a book, Bet on Black, like that is her genuine, these are the things she talks about. Like, but what I think is interesting is this is Ebony. So whereas Sonia, I don't know what's really up with Sonia. I would say you should be worried about her. I mean, Luann has her cabaret. Ramona, I guess we can call it a podcast she has now. We'll talk about, which is no shade to Ramona.
Oh, yes, with her daughter. Yeah.
Right, so, and I love Avery. So, like, I'm just saying, like, I think the more Ebony is in the world, people are kind of being reminded that, like, this is a woman that had a whole real media career, that has a real media career after Housewives. I love that type of story arc. Kind of like a Cynthia Bailey who like is doing like movies. And yes, but like, if you don't act like a fool, like, I'm sorry, I don't want to be mean. No one is hiring Sonia Morgan for like a real job. It's not an insult. It's just, so I think the more Ebony is out there writing books and talking about things and going on, standing up to DJ Envy, like, I just think it's like, let's remember that this person has like a real job in the media, which I know no one cares about because they just care about sloppy housewife shit. But I love it. And I love my lawyers. Maybe not Jackie Goldschneider, but I love my other lawyers. So go on.
I forgot Jackie Goldschneider. Goldschneider's a lawyer?
You want to hear who else?
What?
My good friend.
I did not know that.
My good friend. She's really my good friend. Anna Kinkose. We talked about, we wanted to start a lawyer, some type of lawyer Bravo show for Housewives. Anna Kinkose from Miami. Phaedra Parks.
She's an attorney.
Yeah.
Well, I know Phaedra. I know.
This one.
You don't know this one. With Phaedra as an attorney. Yes.
I think you told me that.
Yes. Years ago when I co-hosted on Hot 99.5 The Kane Show, it was a nationally syndicated show back in like 2008 to 2013. It was like the #1 morning show, one of them across the country. Bobby Brown was getting divorced from Whitney Houston. He had gone to jail for the umpteenth time. And I don't even know how we got in contact with him, but we basically contacted Bobby in jail. No one would bail him out. Whitney would not bail him out. He had no money. So we had agreed to bail Bobby Brown out of jail, the $25,000, or it was $22,000, but he had to come and co-host for a week the Kane Show with us.
I like this.
Yes. He was going to do it. Phaedra was his attorney. So Phaedra anyway, of course, we pay the money. He is bailed out of jail and then refuses to come to DC and co-host. Phaedra, so we talked to Phaedra, we put her on air, and she was very apologetic. And she's like, I'm sorry, my client is in breach of contract. She was great. She did not seem at all like she wanted to be famous. In fact, she seemed embarrassed by Bobby Brown's. And I actually think Bobby has talked shit about her since. Like, I think he didn't like her as his attorney. Anyway, I think they've talked shit about each other. Anyhow, I don't know what Phaedra and iHeart negotiated, but somebody paid back the $20-something thousand to the radio station, and he never did come co-host. So I don't know if she paid it, if Whitney Houston ended up paying it. He ended up coming up with the money. Anyhow, but she was very understated. She is not like the Phaedra you see on TV at all. Again, this was like,
would the radio station have sued Bobby Brown?
we were at the time, we were going on air every day, basically slamming him that he was in breach of. So every day we would basically do a segment dedicated to Bobby Brown being a dirtbag that we had bailed out. And Kane was always a genius like this, although I don't know if it was genius, but he was always recording things because I can't remember if Maryland or Georgia, wherever he was. Anyway, one of them, I think you could record without consent in the state. So he'd recorded like all the calls of Bobby saying, oh yeah. I'll co-host blah, blah, blah. And then, we would just light him up every day on air. So I think they got to the point they didn't want any more because he was like on probation and, all these things.
That's a good one.
So they did end up paying, and then we stopped talking shit about him on air.
Is there anyone for maybe like 2,500 you and I can split it that we could bail out of jail and get here behind? Well, I don't know.
We ain't getting what's her face? Jen Shaw's not getting out of jail.
She also hates me.
I don't know if I believe Tom Girardi really has dementia. And I would think for $2,500 we could get somebody close to Tom Girardi probably to talk shit about Tom. Who else is in jail that we know?
We need someone who works at Tom's facility and someone who works at Raquel's facility, and we can do it anonymous. We have to find someone. I want someone who works at Tom's facility and someone who works at Raquel's facility. I want them. And we can disguise like, wah, 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 wah. We can disguise their voice so they won't get fired from their job. And we will have an interview here. And I want to know, really, Raquel, probably I would prefer it. Like, I would like to know what Raquel's day-to-day is like. Please find me somebody. Anonymous. We can disguise ours. Okay, hi, great. This is a worker at Raquel's facility. Yes, I am responsible for seeing her every day. We don't have to say what you do there.
Email us, sarahfrasershow@gmail.com. David and I team up often. By the way, I wanted to just mention to you.
Go on.
No, I wanted to talk about people are emailing us about advertising on our show. David and I team up. We do 2 podcast episodes a week. We take on advertisers from national, local, you name it. Okay. We want your brand, your business to be here on this podcast. You want to reach almost 1 million listeners and subscribers every single month. We are your podcast. sarahfrasershow@gmail.com. We'll send you our rates. We know so many of you work for amazing companies, and we're looking for beauty products, by the way. Most of our audience is women and fabulous LGBTQ+. So skincare products, drink alcohol. Not to label all of us ladies and LGBTQ+ as drinkers and caring about our skin, but we kind of do. Hair products, eyeglasses, anything along that lines. But even technical, we have a brand coming up that we're going to be working with that's searching for nationwide to staff their business. So it can be something too, if your company is even like an Indeed and you guys want to reach more people, sarahfrasershow@gmail.com, and I'll share our rates. You and your brand could be heard here on the show.
And it's real. We're hearing from you guys, and the advertising is going to start. And at some point, we're going to be full. So
yes, you know it. Okay, what else?
I talked about this with Kim on the Patreon last week. When